Oh, the NFL should be absolutely terrified of the Dallas Cowboys. Specifically, this version of the Dallas Cowboys, featuring guys on both sides of the ball that let their play and their emotions on the field do their talking. With guys like Brock Hoffman taking no mercy on people, knocking guys on their ass until the whistle actually blows, and sometimes after the whistle blows. Dudes like DeMarvion Overshown flying all over the field, making huge plays, using high IQ while playing high-level football. And yes, even people like Micah Parsons coming out here and being transcendent on the football field, making an impact. Whether you like his antics off the field or how much he talks, he's 100% one of the most devastating players in the NFL. And while it hasn't been without its issues, we're starting to see him really come into his own as far as what he's going to be as a leader of men. And what he's going to be as a leader of men is someone who may not always say the right things, but what he is going to do is always support his teammates, and he's going to look out for them guys' best interests and be very vocal about the positive things that these guys bring on the football field, even when everyone else is ready to throw them away. He did this with Mozzie Smith, who has had a up and down, mostly down, start to his Dallas Cowboys career, but Micah Parsons was one of the main people that was always vocal about how he would end up eventually being great, and he was one of the main reasons he was drafted to the team, so he better be supporting him. In addition to that, he and DeMarvion Overshown seem to be some of the guys that are going to be instrumental in pushing Jerry Jones to kind of get out of their comfort zone. And I like this, because if anybody can encourage Jerry to do something, guys like a Micah Parsons and DeMarvion Overshown, his star players, are going to be the guys that are able to push Jerry to do something, to get him out of his comfort zone. And DeMarvion Overshown said, either I'm going to wear 0 or the next will. Either way, I'm getting it. Hashtag inspirational. But this was after Micah Parsons said he was going to put the call in and try to get Jerry Jones to give up that number 0 for DeMarvion Overshown and get it off of Rowdy. Now, I don't know if he deleted that post or not, but I like this kind of thing. I like Micah feeding into the goals of his teammates. And that, to me, is illustrating some good leadership. See, some of y'all got things twisted, man. I am not going to sit up here and be that family member that continuously gives that uncle that you know has a drug problem. You continuously keep giving him change. He keep asking you for 10, 20, 15. Keep asking you for even number amounts of money, making excuses for what he needs to go accomplish. But you know damn well all he about to go do is get a big ass rock. I'm not about to be that uncle, man. I'm going to tell my uncle, hey, brother, I love you, man. I love you. You my uncle. I will always love you. I'll always be here for you, but I am not going to continue to help feed your habits. So no, I'm not going to sit here and act like everything is all fine and dandy and everything is all roses, because I remember the New Orleans Saints coming into Dallas and soundly putting boots to ass. I remember the Baltimore Ravens coming into Dallas and soundly putting boots to ass. I remember all these teams coming into Dallas and absolutely embarrassing this team, and some of those games, most of those games, Micah Parsons and some of these other guys were on the field, man, including Dak Prescott. So yes, I'm sorry if I'm not ready to go ahead and start anointing guys. I'm sorry if we've been embarrassed so much this season that I'm not going to sit here and take this moment after beating the 2-10 Giants, y'all. I'm not going to take this moment to pump my chest out and act like we're something that we're not yet. We are still 5-7, and rent is still due, man. We have still at a deficit, y'all. This is not the time to start acting like everything is all flowers and roses. Not until you start seeing this team do stuff that they haven't done before. We've seen them beat up on the New York Giants. We've seen the defense look good against some of the lesser teams in the league. And no, I'm not degrading a W. Some of you guys have no clue what nuance is. Y'all feel like life is either black or white. Y'all have no clue how to look at the details of things and be able to craft a more educated opinion about what it is that you're looking at, to be able to perceive in between the lines. Y'all can't do that at all. I see some of y'all have no capabilities of being able to process a higher level of thought. Y'all just can't. Y'all just can't, man. But it's okay, That's why I'm here, because regardless of how upset people may get, because I'm not going to feed into Micah Parsons BS or any of the guys on this team BS. And the reason it feels like I'm picking on Micah a lot is because he's the only Cowboy talking, bro. So of course he's the only guy that we're going to have input on, because he's the only dude giving people stuff to talk about, man. So yes, it's going to seem like I'm picking on Micah. No, I'm not picking on Micah. I want the best for Micah. He talks a lot, and sometimes it adds to the noise around the team. But no, I'm not going to let that stuff make me just not want Micah Parsons on my team or anything like that. But yes, I am going to call a spade and be like, hey, man, you just put a booger on that wall. I saw you do it. Take it off, man. I would hate. I'm serious. I would seriously hate to know some of you guys that go in the comments and get so upset about people giving fair and honestly very objective criticisms about these players. I don't know what to tell you. If you're the type of Cowboys fan that think it's cool to go around and start boasting about beating the 2-10 Giants, man, if you think you're the type of Cowboys fan that think it's cool to start talking about Super Bowl aspirations after beating the 2-10 Giants, then this channel, this platform, this show is just not for you, man, because we're trying to get away from that foolish mentality, that foolish way of representing Dallas Cowboys fans, bro, because that's part of the problem, that people go out and act like everything is good with the world after we get a win against some of the lesser competition in the team when we've seen this team do this. Learn from past mistakes, y'all. We've seen this team do this over and over again, and we've seen how it plays out. So until they show us it's going to play out differently, don't assume it's going to play out differently. And that's all I am with it. But as long as we got guys like a Micah Parsons and DeMarvion Overshown and guys like a Josh Butler, I know he's hurt now, he got that ACL injury, but guys like a Josh Butler coming here and guys that are playing for something, Brock Hoffman, guys that are really playing for something, you can tell they love the physicality of the sport. You can tell that they love physically dominating another man in a competitive environment. No Diddy. You can tell that they love doing that type of thing. That's when this team is truly going to change. And honestly, Micah being as vocal and as loud as he is about certain things, it could be a double-edged sword, because on one hand, yes, it's going to add to the noise of the Cowboys, but if he's not afraid to speak his mind and he's not afraid to go and challenge the powers to be with the Cowboys organization, then damn it, he could end up doing a lot more good than harm to this team when it's all said and done. So that may be something that some of us just may have to learn to live with, including myself. I may just have to start looking at Micah Parsons kind of in the light of a Charles Haley, in a sense of he's just going to say some stuff that just doesn't come off right sometimes. And you got to really just assume that he's coming from the right place, and you got to give him a serious benefit of the doubt every single time, because otherwise you're going to have way too much to work with to think that he could mean anything else. So that's just kind of where I'm coming to the point with Micah Parsons. But I'm not going to ever continue to stop acting like or stop being real about when somebody just says something that sounds crazy, y'all, or someone's doing something that looks crazy, or it can be perceived a certain way. Because at the end of the day, y'all that's in the comments and all angry, y'all ain't the ones that's putting y'all face and credibility at stake every time you get up on one of these videos and defend one of these guys, or you speak on their behalf, or you go as hard as I have went on literally probably 100 different occasions on this channel at some of these damn sports broadcasters on national media. I go hard at these people, man. But guess what? I look like a jackass when I go hard at these people, and then our guys do stuff that actually validates the criticisms or some of the outrageous stuff that these talking heads have said about some of our guys, where they do stuff that can play into some of the narratives that these guys are building. So yes, I'm going to be real and be like, hey man, I'll defend you. I got your back, but damn, bruh, help me out. Help me help you. I don't know what some of y'all got going on, brother. The Dallas Cowboys are coming, though. And don't ever get that mixed up as it pertains to where this platform sees this team. The Dallas Cowboys are coming. Y'all know before the season, I predicted that this team would still be around the same record they were last season. I was dreadfully wrong, but that's how much confidence I had in the players on this team. That's how much confidence I had in the guys that was still here. Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. And it may be a day late and a dollar short, because we may not end up being able to make the playoffs. I really hope we do, because it seems like they're going to really try to make a push. I really hope we do. Otherwise, all we did was screw our draft position for this entire season. That's all we did. We didn't make the playoffs, and we got terrible draft position. That is no man's land. That is not where you want to be. But this team could seriously be in position to make a push, and you could be looking at something like a New York Giants, Eli Manning-led New York Giants team. Because I'm going to be real, bro. I don't think Cooper Rush is on the level of Dak, but I damn sure think that he can throw that ball at least as well as Eli Manning could. So Cooper Rush could lead a Dallas Cowboys team that is being really led by the defense and Micah Parsons, DeMarvion Overshown, and DaRon Bland, and DeMarcus Lawrence finally coming back. This team is coming. Micah Parsons let us know that DeMarcus Lawrence could be back for the Cincinnati Bengals game on Monday Night Football. So they're getting healthier. They're getting key pieces back. We're starting to have all of our guns loaded up. The defense is starting to hit his groove. Mike Zimmer is finally being able to play with all the toys he has available to his disposal. And you're really starting to see what we all thought this defense could be under a Mike Zimmer. You're starting to really see that come into fruition now, because outside of some big plays, and really that's really been the difference as far as the other team scoring the past couple of weeks. Now, remember, we're still 2 weeks removed from getting stomped out by the Texans, a struggling Texans team at that. So that's what I'm saying. We gotta don't put the wagon before the horses, y'all. We gotta relax a little bit as far as how much we start pumping up what we're doing as a Cowboys fan base, because we start looking foolish when we get a little bit ahead of ourselves. But with all of this happening, with the team starting to really mesh at the right time, they already figured out their running back situation. There's some more confusion there. We have a real lead back. The interior of our offensive line is really starting to clean up with guys like Brock Hoffman and Cooper Beebe and Tyler Smith, and those guys really just manhandling folks inside those trenches. The team is actually starting to kind of look more like the version of the Cowboys that I think a lot of us probably expected to see coming out in week 1. I feel like that's the team that we're starting to see now. It's like they started at a deficit for some reason to start the season out, and it's like they worked their way back up to the level to where we all thought they would be. And so now it's all about how far can Cooper Rush take us, because if the defense is going to be game and these guys can go up against Joe Burrow, if these guys can go up against Joe Burrow and Micah Parsons and DeMarvion Overshown, and if D-Law comes back and this defense can really hold that explosive, because the Bengals' problem is their defense. Their offense is still explosive. If this defense can hold that Bengals offense in check and actually give this team a chance to win that game, or really help this team win that game, then we may be really cooking here, y'all. And again, I do believe that a guy like a Micah Parsons and some of these other younger leaders on this team that are starting to step up and kind of come into their own a little bit, I do think that those guys would deserve a good portion of credit for that, because Micah has been one of the biggest faces for one of the biggest franchises in all the world. And he's been under one of the biggest microscopes and been talking a lot while under one of the biggest microscopes, which intensifies the magnification of what it is that he's doing. And if he's performing, man, that's all the more impressive. And if he's helping his teammates get better, that's all we can really ask for. So, you got to take the annoyances with all the good that he brings. And that's kind of the mentality I'm going to approach it with. But again, I got to see this stuff against better teams. But the Cowboys are definitely coming, and the NFL should absolutely be terrified. If we're going to get a more physical, gritty, and just competitive version of the Dallas Cowboys that's full of dogs and guys that are actually hungry and aren't going to crumble under the pressure of being a Dallas Cowboy, oh yeah, y'all going to be in trouble then. Y'all going to be in trouble. And we still them same old Cowboys. And yes, I'm going to support Micah. I'm going to always support my Cowboys. But I'm going to still call it out when guys saying stupid stuff. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy, shut up. Hey!